This was the hardest book to write out of everything. And Zoo City was tough because it's a noir, and it's it's really complicated, and the characters' motivations are hidden, and you only know as much as the detective does. But in The Shining Girls, I have three major timelines. There's Harper's timeline; he's the killer. You've got the book's timeline, and then you have the actual historical timeline. Girl murdered in 1931, then 1943, then 1954. And then Harper's timeline, he's not killing in that order, which means it's impossible for a detective to work out his modus operandi or to find him, because he is jumping around all over the place. And serial killers typically get more violent and more elaborate as they go, because it's a compulsion and it's almost like a drug addiction. He's less violent in a murder in 1993 and more violent in a murder in 1986, because that's not the order he's killing in. And I mapped all of that out on this murder wall above my desk. I had three different timelines. I had pieces of red string connecting the murders across. The other problem is that he takes things from the girls and leaves them on the bodies of other girls. So, and which of course is how they start putting together the mystery, because there's a 1993 baseball card on a 1943 murder, and which is obviously impossible. And that is how our heroine is going to start figuring out what the hell is going on here. But I also had to track the movements of the objects. Who did he take from who, and where did it end up, and where is it now? And it was intense, but it was just completely insane. But it was lovely to be able to glance up from my desk and to have the whole thing mapped out. But obviously there were plot holes that I had to fix. I would really like to think that I've got all the plot holes out. But it was really important to me to do it right, because so often you see time travel done really badly, and there's kind of a hand-wafty explanation of, oh, it's time travel, it's just the way it is. But it was very important for me that there are loops and crossovers, there is a paradox, but that everything absolutely makes sense, and that there is a reason for the way the house works the way it does. There is a reason for the paradox that, those crossovers work, and they are immaculately mapped out. And if they were wrong, I would move them and restructure the entire book to make sure that it actually worked. It had to work.